Hello, everyone. Hope you're all well. I want to start our Wednesday devotion by asking the question: how do you experience spiritual growth? Is growing spiritually in your walk with the Lord, is it something that happens quickly, or is it something that happens slowly? Is it like a firework where it just explodes? One day you're impatient, and the next day all of a sudden you've grown in patience. Or is it something that happens over a long period of time where you wrestle with being angry, and that just takes a long time to work that out, or other sins or things in our lives we're able to grow, but it takes a long time. I wonder how if it does take a long time, as I suspect it is for most of us, how do you feel about that? Is that something that's frustrating and disappointing, and it feels like it's one step forward and two steps back at a time? Well, we'll come back to that in a minute. But first, I wanted to share one of the things, another thing that we've been doing to keep busy in the lockdown. We've been growing sunflowers and buying stuff off Amazon, as I shared in previous weeks. But we've also been, like a lot of people as well, using a lot of this stuff, flour. We've been doing our baking. I had to fight 5 people in the bakery aisle to get this flour. No, I'm really joking. Actually, Alistair bought us this flour. We couldn't get any in Hollywood, and he managed to get some in Dundonald. People in Dundonald aren't as posh as those in Hollywood. People in Hollywood are all baking their own bread. Um, but so thanks to Alistair for that. So that's what we've been doing. We've been trying to do some bakery projects. We've been baking some of our own bread. Here's a picture of some. And I'll not show you, though, the countless other pictures of bakery experiments gone terribly wrong and all the stuff that's ended up in the bin. But it's been good fun experimenting. But Jesus tells us a parable about someone who did some baking. Again, talking about the kingdom of God. He says, "To what shall I compare the kingdom of God? It is like leaven that a woman took and hid in 3 measures of flour until it was all leavened." That's the parable. He says it's like a woman who's baking, and she takes this flour, 3 measures, it's a large amount, I think it's nearly 40 litres of flour, and she takes a little bit of leaven. Apparently that was a little bit of dough that would have been saved from a previous bake, and it had been fermented, and then it was liquidized in water, and it was poured into this new batch. And so he's saying the kingdom is like this leaven. It's added into a batch of flour, and it spreads out. And so this is what unleavened bread looks like without any leaven. This is what bread that has leaven looks like. So it's small, and you'd hardly notice it in amongst the mixture, but it transforms the whole batch. It transforms the bread. And Jesus is saying that's what the kingdom, his kingdom is like. It can be small, unnoticeable at times, but it slowly transforms. It slowly transforms. This is a big claim for Jesus. I mean, he only had a handful of followers. There were lots of people who rejected him. And yet he's saying that the kingdom that I'm bringing is going to transform. It's going to grow. And everything that it comes in contact with is going to change. It's a big claim, but he was right, wasn't he? I mean, 2,000 years later, Jesus' kingdom has transformed the world. There's an historian called Tom Holland, who he wasn't a Christian, but he came to realise by looking at history how the whole Western world has been built and shaped by Christianity, by the claims and the morality and the values of Christianity have shaped, and even people today who aren't Christians or who are atheists, all their beliefs, all their values have been shaped by what Jesus said. And so it's true, the kingdom has grown slowly over hundreds, over thousands of years, but it's transformed the world. It happens on a big level, transforms countries, transforms communities, but also transforms individuals as well. And the kingdom grows slowly, but also in our own lives. The kingdom of God grows slowly at times, often in our hearts, and we can be frustrated. We want to see growth straight away. But if growth is slow and at times unnoticeable, well, then that's the way Jesus said it was going to be like. That's the nature of the kingdom. It grows slowly, but it grows surely. And we want to rush. We want to see growth in our own lives. We want to see growth in our community, in our church straight away. We want to be able to do it. We want to be able to see it. And perhaps at times that's because we want to feel like we are in control, or even really to feel like we are the ones that are doing it. But Jesus is saying, no, the kingdom's going to grow like the leaven in the flour. You don't even see it at times. But slowly it permeates and it transforms. So be encouraged if you're a follower of Jesus. Maybe look back, take a minute, take a moment to look back and think the past year, the past 2 years, the past 10 years. Maybe you can't see immediate growth, but has there been slow, long growth that God has been working in your heart? Maybe if you stop to think about, you are more patient. Maybe you are more prayerful. Maybe you are more loving. Maybe you're more humble than you were years ago. And that's because of the slow work of God's kingdom working in your heart. So don't give up. Don't be discouraged. God is working. We might not always see it, but He's working beneath the surface. Before I go, I want to remind you as well that this evening, just in a few hours' time, this is going up on Wednesday, that the Bangor Worldwide launch event is happening this evening at 7:45 p.m. And I'll post a link down below in the description, and you can see how to access that, so you can get onto that this evening. But I hope you're encouraged, and God bless everybody.